Hello, welcome back to the shop. Today we are going to play around with some ratchets. It appears to me as though these two ratchets might have some interchangeable components, and we might be able to make a very short 3/4 or 3/8 ratchet out of these parts, and then we'll have a probably fairly normal length 1/4 inch ratchet out of this. So let's take these apart and see. Take it apart, we're going to play around with powered screwdriver we picked up and we're trying out here. Not an endorsement at all, we're just trying it out to see how it works. So we got some Loctite on those threads, which is always kind of good. Okay, let's get the 1/4 inch one apart first and see how it works. Okay, so there's our tooth, and there's our paw. Paw came out, but I believe it works like this, where it rides in there like that, and then you flip it. It's kind of hard to see, but if everything holds out, when we take apart the 3/8, we should see the same mechanism. And one of the things that's handy with modern manufacturing is that you want to use as many common parts as possible because it saves on your manufacturing expenses. The more commonality you have, the more cost savings you have. Okay, so there's a gasket we pulled out with this one. The gasket came out with the other one as well. It just stayed to the plate. It looks like it's the same mechanism. So let's take a look at that. Okay, we dropped the paw. That's okay. Looks like that stuff is all the same. So let's take a look here. You can see here is your mechanism for throwing the paw back and forth, and it looks to be the same between the two. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the gasket and put it in here, just like that. We're going to take this paw, put it in here, just like that, after I displace the gasket one more time. And then we're going to take this ratchet with the anvil and the gear pressed on it. Now we kept the paw. Oh, that's interesting. Both of these have the same paw. It says 1/4 inch. Yeah, that's the same part. Let's get out the microscope and take a look at that. It's pretty hard for me to show you what's going on here. Okay, now we have the microscope out here, and let's take a look at this. You can see that the paw, this is the shorter handle. That says 1/4 inch MW Milwaukee 90 tooth. Then in here, let me put the one that was in the 3/8. Actually, this is the one that was in the 3/8. Let me put the one that was in the 1/4 in the 3/8 handle. You see it's the exact same paw. And that's not uncommon with manufacturing parts. You can see everything looks pretty much identical. And that's pretty common actually. So now if we take a look at our gear, drive gear and the anvil, there you can see the drive gear, and we'll just take a look at both of them next to each other. They're the same. They're the same thing. So let's get the real shorty together, and we'll take a closer look at that then. So now we're putting the 3/8 into what was the quarter. I think we got to go to center position to get that in place properly. There we go. I think we got it. Let's get our screw started. These things normally don't come apart too bad. And we'll just finish this off by hand. Get that one kind of close. It's not tight yet. Do the same thing here. Get it kind of close, not tight. Get it started. Get it snug. That's not bad. And we'll snug this. There we go. And now we have a very small, what was the quarter is now 3/8. And there you go. We've got our screws back in, gasket set. That is an ultra short 3/8 ratchet. So the overall length we're at with this 3/8 ratchet is right on 3 inches. Actually, like 2 7/8-ish. So now that is super short and super handy, honestly, if you are in a tight spot. It works just fine either direction. There's on, there's off. But let's complete this. Let's get the 1/4 inch put back together. I feel like I need to take the gasket off of this, because it's just going to want to go flying. I do like that they have a gasket on these. It's a layer of protection against dirt ingress, which is actually a nice thing. And then we should be able to get that in there. I guess so we could show that. That's what this looks like together. And then if I turn this, you can see how, let's take a look at how that paw works. That just keeps skipping over these teeth. It's really hard to show, but that is exactly how that works. There you go. It's a decent shot. You can see how that's working. Then you have all those teeth for engagement on the tool. So now that we have all of that set, all we should have to do, there we go, is take our cover, set it on top, just like that, put our screws in. Ratchets really aren't that hard to fix. If you have the right parts, there's not a lot to them. So by doing this, swapping out these parts, we ended up with 2 tools that Milwaukee does not make. And we will measure the length of this 1/4 inch once we get it together. Okay. There we go. That works just fine. And now this 1/4 inch we'll have set, and that is right around 5 inch, like 4 7/8. So hopefully this was interesting. They're really, when I got the initial set of these and we were looking at them, we did a video on 1/4 inch with a much longer 1/4 inch handle, and then we did this video on the 3/8 stubby. I was looking at the two next to each other thinking, boy, those mechanisms appear to be the same size, and knowing that manufacturing uses a lot of commonality in its parts, I ordered another set of both, and lo and behold, we can swap parts around. So we ended up with perhaps the world's shortest 3/8 ratchet, and a fairly standard around 5 inch long 1/4 inch ratchet. So that's a lot of fun, and something relatively easy to do. If you can turn some screws, it's not so hard to make. So hopefully you found this interesting. We have some other videos on the channel of making Frankentools. It's something that I've always kind of enjoyed, swapping parts around and making a tool that otherwise doesn't exist. And sometimes those tools are very, very handy, and they fill a need that you have that somebody doesn't make. So let me know in the comments below if you have any Frankentools that you made out of parts of other tools and how they work out. Sometimes they don't always work out the best, but sometimes you wonder why it wasn't made in the first place. All the parts already exist. Maybe they just don't think it's overly marketable. But as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.